Yes, I know. The number 0 has quite the significance in mathematics, for example, in quadratic equations and all that kind of good stuff. But this is the one time in everyday life when if I missed out the number 0, all the weebs in the world, especially Gundam fans, are going to kill me. What is going on, guys? MJ2005 Gundam here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the high-grade RX-78-02 Gundam from Gundam The Origin. Now, I have to say, right out of the box with all the decal work and panel lining, this thing does look absolutely amazing. It does look pretty good when it is out of the box with no effort at all, but with all of the extra effort, this thing just really pops. And I have to say, this thing is just one of the best looking RX-78-2s right out there. Or RX-78-02s, because some of you weebs will kill me out there with me missing out on the 0. Color separation on this thing is fantastic. As you can see, the Vulcans over here, the yellow Vulcans, are in a plastic piece, and almost everything is plastic. But you do have a little bit of color correcting stickers. First of all, you do have the sensors on the forehead and the back, which are in the red plastic, by the way. So if you do not want the metallic, you can omit them. And then the eyes, I think it is on the yellow piece. I'm not really sure. Not really too keen on remembering build details. So if it is on the yellow piece, you can just outline the black, and there you go. So you can omit the head stickers entirely. But then the yellow V over here, yeah, if you want to omit that, you're gonna paint that in. But thankfully, it is not like a convex piece, so the sticker doesn't have to fold over anything, which means the sticker will stay on and look a little bit more natural than if it is pasted on a convex piece. And then you do have all the gray circles all over the body, which is alright. And then you do have all the decals that I put on all of them, but there is a very major problem. The build of this thing is not meant for you to interchange. Now let me bring in the middle stage chest piece, and you can see some of the missing decals on the early version. So you have the middle sticker over here, which is not used on here, and you have the RX-78-02 numbering over here, because both forms do have the RX-78-02 stickers, but you only get one of each of these. So you really have to make up your mind when you're doing the build, especially because if you've seen the stream, this chest piece is extremely hard to remove, so you have to go with it with the build, unless you did modifications like me, in which you cut indents in the holes so as to reduce the friction. Same thing goes for the arm guards. Now you can see this is asymmetrical because only 2 of these red hazard stickers are included, and I put the other one here. So you cannot fully decal it out if you really want to utilize the quote-unquote interchangeability. But anyways, this thing does look very, very nice, even with some of the missing decals. Articulation wise, it's not really on your origin frame because some of the frame pieces are new on this kit, but the neck joint still shares the same origin frame. So you do have a neck joint over here and then a ball joint in the head. You can do the funky chicken. And then the arms, be careful of the cannon, by the way. The arms they can swing up like this, but then they are also on a swing out polycaps, so they do have quite wide of a range of articulation. And then the shoulders, they can rotate. The arms, they can go out that far. It's kind of obstructed by this piece of armor over here, so they can't really go fully perpendicular, but raise the shoulders and you're grand. Rotation right above the arm, right here. A double jointed elbow, pretty nice. Ball jointed wrists. A ball jointed waist over here, which can allow you to do a little bit of crunching. There's the cannon, because it's connected on the polycap, so it's easy to fall off. And there's a ridiculous joint over here. You can get some absolutely unnerving crunches with this torso. Front skirts can't move, side skirts can't move, back skirts are as usual a block, and then there is this swinging mechanic over here that is usually integrated into real grades. And then the legs can go forwards, go backwards, go outwards all the way, rotation above the hip. A double jointed knee, which looks very, very nice because you do have the shifting knee armor, pretty good looking. And then a ball joint at the ankle guards over here, so the feet over here can only move forwards and back, side to side, and rotate on the polycap ball joint down there. And then the thrusters are on ball joints, and the cannon is on a double hinge. So that's going to be all the articulation on the RX-78-02 Gundam. It is really good. The waist is a little bit unnerving to say the least, but you can pull off some absolutely amazing forward crunches. But all in all, this thing does meet up to 2020 standards in terms of articulation. Accessories, let's go through the early type accessories first. First of all, you do have the shoulder cannon right here, double hinge, nothing really too special, painted on the green scopes yourself because stickers are not included. Next up, we do have the single beam saber over here. You do have SB13 beams included in this kit, so you can allow the Gundam to hold the beam saber and do the famous leaping pose. Next up, we do have the early type beam rifle with the trigger finger hand right here and a green sticker for one of the sights. Here you have the traditional Gundam scope over here. Now, this thing is pretty nice. It does look, yeah, okay. Not really too big of a fan of it because it's not really the beam rifle I know and love. You do have a support handle that you can flip out from here, and then you do have a peg that you can flip out from here, so as to either store it on the backpack if you can wedge it in, just like so, or the back skirt, which is where it's supposed to go, just like so. Pretty nice amount of storage options. And you can see I have the trigger finger hand put in there, so you can just swap out the hands and give this guy the beam rifle. There you go. And then you do have the Hyper Bazooka, which has amazing color separation. The decal work is a little bit mucked up, but yeah, it's okay in my books. You do also have a yellow sticker for the scope. They have color separated the other two scopes of the beam rifles, so why did they not make a yellow piece for this thing? I am completely baffled by it. But anyways, the white is all separate. You technically do not need the stickers if you can just paint in the scope yellow. So it is pretty nice. It does have a clip over here which allows the bazooka to be mounted onto the back skirt. Just like so. It seems loose because it just rotates up quite easily in the clip, but it's stored on very securely as tested here. So let me bring in the normal holding hands. And this thing does have a movable handle, by the way. Swap it out and the Gundam can hold it. Just like so. Pretty simple. And then last but not least, we do have the shield right here. The shield is supposed to be held upside down, but you can actually interchange the mechanic over here because it's on a sliding joint which can be accessed from both ends. So if you want to have an upside down shield, you can. And it's also on the ratchet track, so one click lower and it is securely locked in. But of course you can also shift it up and down. But I prefer the shield to be right side up. So here you go. And of course you do have a peg over here which can peg onto the underside of the arm. And the trigger finger hands are not the best for holding themselves together. Right here, it can just use it with the peg, but you can absolutely allow it to use the handle as well. But the handle is circular, so if you want it just to solely hold it on the handle, it's not gonna work. And also on the early type, you do have the machine gun over here, the Gatling gun, and the shoulder magnums on the chest, which is pretty nice amount of accessories, and everything's going to fall apart. Yep, structural integrity on the weapons is not really this thing's strong suit. So before I convert this thing to the middle stage development type, let's bring in the G35 and compare this thing with. Now the G35 is more faithful to the anime aside from the broken V-fin, with the greenish white and the lighter blue and the more sharper red. But I overall prefer the origin version better, because this thing just looks dull as of now when compared to the origin version. So let me convert this thing to the middle stage version and I'll be right back. Now here is the RX-78-02 Gundam in its middle developmental stage. Now what I basically did is switch the chest plate, which only has one minute difference, which is the detailing on the chest. And then I swapped out the cannon for the extra beam saber, which makes it look like the original Gundam's backpack. I switched out the arm guards over here for the ones that can accommodate the machine gun magazines on the arms. However, why did they decide to remove extra armaments and leave the holes there? I am not really too sure. And then, last but not least, I did switch out the original vents over here for the ones that have the handlebars. For some reason, the Gundam needs helicopters to transport it to its battlefield. Like Jaegers, I don't know why it has handlebars, but okay. The conversion does not affect anything, however the conversion is really painful when you try to switch out the chest plate. Even given that you have these modifications in, it's still a pain in the ass to just switch out the chest plates, but for the others, it's not really too bad, to say the least. Now, in the middle developmental stage, you do have the more faithful to the original beam rifle. You also have a swivel on the support handle, and then you do also have a peg over here, and also a movable scope. So you can, plug it onto the backpack the same way as the original one. It's easier now because you don't have the cannon on the left side of the backpack, or you can just plug it onto the back skirt, just like so. And you can allow the Gundam to hold it, just like so. So that's going to be all the accessories for the RX-78-02 Gundam, but in terms of extra hands, you do have what I've showed off, the 2 regular holding hands and the right trigger finger hand, and you also do get 2 of these kind of relaxed open hands, and you do get a left trigger finger hand, so you can actually dual wield the rifles. Now, with all of the pieces left over from the conversion, it is clear that you can actually create your own form of the RX-78-02 Gundam. Given that you prefer some aspects of the early developmental type and some aspects of the middle developmental type, you can actually combine aspects of both of them together, which is kind of the aim of this kit, I guess. Create your own RX-78-2, but there's this choice for you. But before we move on to comparisons, let's take a look at the leftover pieces. So I think these things are left over from the other Origin mobile suits. But curiously, you do have an extra Gatling gun over here for the chest piece. If you want to go full heavy arms, guns blazing into the battlefield, you can actually arm this thing with another Gatling gun. So that's going to be all that's included in the kit. So let's bring in the G35 again, just to compare it with the middle type RX-78-02. And then let's bring in the R3 Gundam, just to compare this thing with. So that's going to wrap it up for the review of the RX-78-02 Gundam. Let's get the bads out of the way first, because all I have left are goods. First of all, this thing is not really made to conduct the conversions, unlike the Mudrock Gundam, which is kind of sad because, yeah, the whole thing about having 2 forms of a kit is that you can interchange between the forms if you felt like it. But this kit is not really made for converting between one form or the other. So the insufficient amount of decals and basically this thing not being made to convert between one form or the other is basically the downfalls of this kit. So that's much deducted already from it. But the good is that the color separation is fantastic. There is lots, and I mean lots, of panel lining opportunities. The weapons look good. They do all have storage options. And you can actually create your own form of the RX-78-02. But yes, there is a finite amount of permutations and combinations for the forms that this thing can take, with everything that comes in its own kit. But the option is there, and with all the leftover pieces, you can create basically the RX-78-2 that you really want to be displayed on your shelf. Plus, this thing is just a bang for your buck. Just tighten up the joints. It's simple enough. It's gonna come in at an 8 out of 10. This thing is a highly recommend to you guys. But yeah, it may be higher than real grade prices, but trust me, this thing is a bang for your buck. So that's it for me. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you did like it, please be sure to drop a like, comment, and also subscribe for more Gunpla reviews, Gunpla news, and all that kind of stuff. Subscribe to the featured channels on my channel page if you haven't, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out, guys. Bye bye.